most unforgivable thing your child's school ever covered up? My son was in 2nd grade when his old teacher, Mr. Doyle, came back after being investigated for touching students. The findings were inconclusive, but nobody cared, and the entire parents' board united against Mr. Doyle immediately. The janitor, Vic, was the loudest voice among us. Ethan would tell me that every single day at dismissal, Vic would position himself by the pickup line telling anyone who'd listen that it was disgusting they let that man near children again. I'm keeping my eye on him, he'd announced to groups of nodding parents. This is where it got weird though. I was worried about Mr. Doyle, so I told Ethan to always be on the lookout for him, and that's when Ethan saw something. He told me that Mr. Doyle always kept his distance from the kids in class. He never volunteered for yard duty, but the main thing he did was keep an eye on Vic. He'd follow Vic out of the classroom, always wanted to privately talk to him, always seemed to engage with him way more than he should for how much Vic seemingly hated him. Then came the day that changed everything. Ethan burst through our front door crying harder than I'd ever seen. He ran straight into my arms and buried his face in my chest. His whole body shook with sobs. The bathroom, he told me. He managed between gasps. My blood turned to ice. I held him tight and waited for him to calm down enough to explain. During recess, Ethan had gone to use the bathroom, and it was Vic who followed him in and locked the main door. Ethan was at the urinal when Vic approached from behind. "Let me help you with that zipper," he said, reaching toward my son. Ethan said he felt his hands going travel underneath down there, and that's when Mr. Doyle burst through the door. Ethan said he'd never heard that voice from his quiet teacher before. "Vic, get out, now!" Vic tried to play it off saying he was just cleaning, but Mr. Doyle positioned himself between them and didn't move until Vic left. He walked Ethan back to class and told him he did nothing wrong and that he was brave. But here's what made my stomach drop. Ethan said after school when he was heading to the bus, Mr. Doyle pulled him aside near the playground. He knelt down to Ethan's level and spoke very quietly. "What happened today you should only tell your parents, okay? Not your principal, not other teachers, just your parents. Can you promise me that?" Ethan was confused why it had to be a secret. That's when I realized Mr. Doyle was scared of something, or someone. Principal Harrison called me that evening saying there had been an incident where Mr. Doyle had overreacted to Vic doing routine cleaning. She suggested Mr. Doyle was becoming paranoid and seeing threats everywhere. Maybe it would be best if Ethan transferred to another class after all. That's when I knew something really wasn't right. I emailed Mr. Doyle that night asking to meet because I needed answers. The next morning at 6 a.m. we sat in his empty classroom. He looked exhausted and defeated. "My son told me you said not to tell anyone," I said. "I'm so thankful he didn't. And now because this happened again, I can show you." He then opened his desk drawer with a key, and what I saw made my blood run cold. He pulled out a folder and spread photos across his desk. Pictures of Vic entering classrooms at night. He told me that 3 months ago he found children's undies in Vic's supply closet. I wanted to throw up there and then. I documented everything. Times he entered rooms after hours, items missing from children's cubbies. What happened? I took everything to Principal Harrison. She said she'd investigate immediately. His voice then cracked. 2 days later, I was suspended for inappropriate touching. The evidence I gave her vanished. He then looked up at me with hollow eyes. That's when I found something else. Vic and Harrison are siblings. Full story on channel, linked below.